The legal industry just became dramatically more efficient. Artificial intelligence can now review thousands of pages of contracts in minutes, research decades of case law in seconds, summarize depositions, draft legal briefs, analyze due diligence documents, flag risks inside multi-million dollar transactions faster than entire teams of junior lawyers used to. The technology works, the time savings are real, and yet something strange happened next. Legal bills did not collapse, law firm profits exploded instead. So, this documentary is investigating a simple question. If AI removed enormous amounts of legal labor, why are clients still paying almost the same price? And where exactly did the savings go? For decades, elite law firms depended on a very specific economic structure. Junior associates and paralegals handled massive amounts of repetitive work. Document review, contract analysis, legal research, due diligence. It was time-consuming, which also made it profitable. Then Silicon Valley arrived. In 2023, Thomson Reuters acquired Casetext for $650 million. The product they wanted was called CoCounsel, an AI assistant trained specifically for legal work. By 2025, more than 20,000 law firms were using the platform, including many of the most powerful firms in the United States. And CoCounsel was only the beginning. Harvey AI, Lexis Plus AI, Westlaw Precision, Spellbook, an entire generation of legal software appeared almost overnight. A contract review that once consumed 3 days could now finish before lunch. A first-year associate who once spent all night researching precedent now watches software generate a research summary in seconds. The legal AI market is projected to grow from roughly $2 billion in 2024 to $25 billion over the next decade. And every platform promised the same thing: less human labor, more output, higher efficiency. But efficiency for whom? Here is where the story stops looking like a technology story and starts looking like an economic story. In 2024, the 100 largest law firms in America reported the strongest financial performance in their history. Revenue surged, profits surged. Revenue per lawyer rose above $1.2 million. Profits per equity partner climbed above $3 million. These are not the financials of an industry under pressure. These are the financials of an industry that became dramatically more productive while largely preserving its pricing structure. Thomson Reuters estimated legal professionals could save approximately 240 hours annually using AI tools. Other surveys found lawyers saving nearly 5 hours every week. For a large law firm, those savings scale into hundreds of thousands of labor hours every year. Think carefully about what that means. A task previously billed across 60 associate hours may now require only a fraction of that time internally, but the client often sees the same invoice structure. The billable hour survives, even when the hours increasingly do not. And that may be one of the most important economic stories in modern professional services. The people most vulnerable to this shift are not the senior partners. They are the workers who used to perform the labor AI now handles first. Paralegals, junior associates, entry-level legal staff. For decades, repetitive legal work served two purposes. It generated revenue, but it also trained people. A junior associate learned judgment by reviewing documents manually. A paralegal developed legal instincts through repetition. The work was tedious, but the profession depended on it. Now imagine graduating from law school with $200,000 in debt, into an industry where the very tasks that once trained new lawyers are increasingly completed by software before a human ever touches the file. That changes the economics of entering the profession, but it may also change the profession itself. Because if fewer young lawyers spend years developing judgment through repetitive work, where exactly does the next generation of expertise come from? This is where the story becomes deeply uncomfortable. In July 2024, the American Bar Association confirmed lawyers could ethically use AI tools if they verified the results and exercised professional judgment. But the opinion left a far larger question unresolved. What exactly should clients be charged for AI-assisted work? There is currently no universal requirement that firms disclose when AI performs substantial portions of a task, no standardized framework for billing AI assisted labor, no consistent industry rule governing how efficiency gains should be shared, and that creates an extraordinary gray area. Because a client paying $50,000 for document review may assume dozens of associates spent weeks analyzing files manually. In reality, portions of that work may have been completed by software in hours. The client often cannot see inside the process. And in professional services, opacity has economic value. Some firms even bill clients separately for AI tool costs while continuing to charge traditional hourly rates on top of them, which means the efficiency may be monetized twice. The software lowers production costs, the invoice structure remains largely intact, and the difference flows somewhere. What is happening inside elite law firms is not unique to law. It is part of a much larger pattern emerging across the economy. AI does not always destroy industries. Sometimes it makes dominant firms even stronger, especially in industries with pricing power. A manufacturer facing global competition may have to pass efficiency gains to consumers through lower prices. Elite professional services often do not operate that way. Clients rarely comparison shop major litigation the way they comparison shop televisions or airline tickets. They buy reputation, relationships, trust, institutional prestige. And that gives powerful firms room to capture efficiency gains internally rather than passing them outward. This is the deeper economic reality many professionals are beginning to discover. AI may not immediately eliminate elite white-collar industries. It may first make them astonishingly profitable, while quietly narrowing the career pathways underneath them. The legal industry is not being disrupted in the way many people expected. The skyscrapers are still full, the partners are still billing, the firms are still expanding. But underneath the surface, the economics of the profession are changing rapidly. AI is removing enormous amounts of labor from legal work. Yet many clients still pay roughly what the old labor model required. The efficiency stays inside the system, the profits rise. And the entry-level work that once trained future lawyers slowly begins to disappear. That may become one of the defining patterns of the AI economy. Not sudden collapse, not mass unemployment overnight. Something quieter, a world where fewer people are needed beneath increasingly profitable institutions. And every white-collar industry watching this happen is now confronting the same question. When AI makes our work dramatically cheaper to produce, who keeps the difference? Next on Disruption Files, healthcare, where artificial intelligence is beginning to read scans, predict diagnoses, and influence decisions doctors once spent years learning to make. And why some hospitals may have financial incentives to automate faster than patients realize. Subscribe to Disruption Files. New episodes Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. CST.